Hello students. So yesterday we have studied the first complex permanent tissue and that is xylem. Xylem is called the complex permanent tissue because it is made up of more than one type of a cell. The xylem elements, the four xylem elements are there, that is xylem vessels, tracheids, xylem parenchyma and fibers. The fibers, this is a sclerenchymatous cell. The vessels as well as the tracheids, both of them, they're consisting of the lignin on its surface and the lumen is present in it. The function of the xylem, it helps in the conduction. Xylem parenchyma is also present in the xylem and that is the only living cells which is present in the xylem element. While all the three, they are the dead cell, including that of the xylem vessel or that of the tracheids. Okay. Now today we will start with the another complex tissue, complex permanent tissue, and that is phloem. Phloem. So phloem is the second compound tissue, or we can say it is the second complex permanent tissue. Okay. So again student, I'm repeating it that we use the term complex tissue because in a complex tissue there are two or more different type of cells are present in it. Right? It means their origins are different although they are having the same function. So a lot of cells or two or more different type of cells are combined together and that's why we use the term complex or compound. So it is another compound tissue or another complex permanent tissue, that is phloem. Now these are also made up of a different cell. So all these cells which are present in that of the phloem is known as phloem elements, as we had discussed in that of the xylem also students. That is, xylem is elements. So xylem was also having a different types of cells involved in it, and due to which we use the term that is xylem elements. And the phloem is also having a different cells involved in it, present in it. That is we also called at a phloem elements. Now the elements which are present in that of the phloem are, they are sieve tubes, they are that of the sieve tubes is one, or one more term we can use, that is sieve cells. I'll explain you that what is the difference between that of the sieve tube and sieve cells. The second one is the companion cell or albuminous cells. Albuminous cells. Then phloem parenchyma is there, and finally phloem fibers are there, which we also call as a sclerenchyma cell, and these phloem fibers in that of the phloem is known as a bast fiber. Bast fiber. Okay, so these are the different elements of the phloem which is present in it. The first one is the sieve tube or sieve cell. The second one is the companion cell or albuminous cell. Then the third one is that of the phloem parenchyma is present in it. And then last is the phloem fiber, which is a sclerenchymatous cell, and they are also known as a bast fiber. Now, if we talk about the sieve tube and sieve cells, what is the difference between these two, students? Sieve tubes, they are basically present in the angiosperms. Okay, and sieve cells, they are found in the gymnosperms. It means the cells which is present in that of the angiosperms are tube-like structure. This is a tube-like structure of a angiosperm. Okay, tube like a cell is there, while in case of a sieve cells, if you see the sieve cells, these sieve cells are basically slightly cubical or cuboidal shape. Okay, so it is a cuboidal or a cubical cells, while that of the sieve tubes, they are, which is present in the angiosperms, they are a tube like a cells found in the plant. Now, if we see that of the sieve tube and that of the sieve cells, then we find that the sieve tubes, they are a little longer cells. Okay, and at the end they are having a perforated plate. You can see here, student, this is a sieve tube, so it is little longer, and at the end this is the perforated plates in it. Why we are using the perforated plate? That means these are having small opening, and that small opening is all over, and this plate like a structure, which we are calling it a perforated plate. So this plate like a structure which is formed in that of the phloem, in that of the sieve tube, is known as a sieve plate. Okay, so I'm repeating it again. This is the sieve tube, which is slightly larger, and every end, this is the end, it started from here to here. So you see at the end there is a plate like a structure. This is a perforated plate. Okay, the cells are little taller, and the perforated plates, they are having a opening. Okay, and that opening is all over, and this plate like a structure which is present in that of a sieve tube, we use the term for that, that is sieve plates. Okay, now if we talk about these sieve tubes or sieve cells, you see they lose their nucleus. It means there is no nucleus, or we can say they are without nucleus. And in this case, in case of that of the sieve tube or sieve cells, they are the enucleated. Okay, enucleated occur when they become mature. Okay, so as they become mature, they loses their nucleus and they become enucleated. And this is common for both of them, whether that is a gymnosperm sieve element, that is sieve cell, or that of the sieve tube. In both of the cases, both of them do not have a nucleus in it, so they both of them become enucleated at maturity. Okay, they are having cytoplasm in it. Okay, so instead of that of the nucleus, but cytoplasm is present in it. So they lose nucleus at maturity, but cytoplasm will remain there. So we can say that it is a enucleated with a living cytoplasm in it. So cytoplasm is there, but nucleus is not present in it. In case of a sieve cells, the cell, it will be cubical, and the wall, it is perforated, as in the case of the sieve tubes also. You can see here sieve tube elements are here. But the difference between these two, that in case of the sieve tube, students, don't get confused with the sieve tube and sieve cell. Almost the function of both of them is same, but there is a little difference in the structure. Okay, like in case of a sieve cells, the perforation is present, the cell wall is having the at the end. Here also perforated plates are there, perforation is there, but what is the difference? That instead of the perforation at all over, like in case of a sieve tube, here in sieve cells there are some areas where the perforation occur. So perforation plate is there. Perforation, it means that opening. Don't get confused with the perforation. It means the opening which is present in that of the plates at the end of the plate of the phloem. But here when we talk about the sieve tube or the sieve cell, sieve tubes is a tube-like structure which is at the end, it is having a perforated plate, and that perforation occur all over the cell. Okay. But here all over that in that of the sieve tube.
Okay, but in case of a sieve cells, here the perforation is there, but that perforation occur in a certain areas. So that perforation is not all over like in case of the sieve tube. Now, if suppose that perforation will be at all over, then the movement of the substance will be easy as compared to that of the sieve cells. Now, see student, if suppose I am saying that this is the perforated plates, this is the opening. Okay, so if these are the openings, so food, it get distributed, it get come from here, it get in the downward direction or in the upward direction with the help of these opening, that is sieve tube plates. Okay, or the sieve plates. So that transportation occur due to these perforated plates. Now, if the perforation occur all over, then more and more transportation can occur. But if the perforation occur at a certain area, then what happen? The transportation will be not efficient. Okay. So, due to the sieve tube is more efficient in transferring of substance, they are more evolved. Okay, so because of the opening, because of this sieve plates, because of the perforation is present all over, the transportation can be carried in a efficient way in case of the angiosperm, in case of the sieve tubes, as compared to the sieve cells where the perforation occur at a certain area. So there the transportation will be not as much efficient as in case of a sieve tube. And that is why the sieve tube is more evolved, and thus it is found in that of the angiosperms. Okay, while the sieve cells, they are found in the gymnosperms because they are not much evolved as like that of the sieve tubes. Okay, so transportation occur in the efficient way in the angiosperms. In transportation of the food occur in case of a sieve tubes, that why it is present in the angiosperms. So this is the sieve tube and that of the sieve plate. Now we will come to the next one, and that is the companion cell or albuminous cell. Now what is the difference between these two? Now see student, when we talk about the sieve tube, this sieve tube and that of the companion cells, they are, we can call it as a sister cell. Okay, while that of the sieve cells and this albuminous cells, they are the sister cells. It means when we take a parent cell, it will get divided into two daughter cells. One, it will be either companion or albuminous cell, and the other daughter cell, it will be either sieve tube or a sieve cells. So if a parent cell we will take, it will either form a sieve tube or a sieve cells. Here it will either form a companion cell or that of the albuminous cell. Okay, so sieve tube and that of the companion cell, most of the time they are always together, and that's why we can say it is a sister cell. While that of the sieve cells and albuminous cells, they are always together, so we can call it a sister cell. Now if we see in case of angiosperms, in case of angiosperm, it will form two daughter cells. One is the companion cell and other one is the sieve plate. So you can see here a sieve plate is there and other companion cell is there. This is a sieve tube cell. Sieve tube cell is attached with that of the companion cell. Okay, while if we see in case of a gymnosperm student, we find that these gymnosperms are basically consisting of the sieve cells and that of the albuminous cell. So if suppose we are talking about that of the gymnosperm sieve element, in case of the phloem, if we are studying the phloem of a gymnosperm plant, then the sieve element which is present in that of the gymnosperm is a sieve cell and that of the albuminous cell. But if we are talking about that of the angiosperm sieve element, then the two components which is present in it, that is sieve tube element and that of the companion cell. Now, if we talk about the companion cell and that of the albuminous cell, student, then what we will find that this companion cell and albuminous cells, they are the nucleated cell. It means it consisting of the nucleus. Okay, before that we studied when the sieve tube and that of the sieve plate, that is the sieve tube as sieve tube or that of the sieve cells, both are having the living cytoplasm but nucleus is absent in it, so we said that it is a enucleated with a living cytoplasm. Okay, but in case of a companion cell, as you can see in the diagram also, at the center you will see a nucleus is present in it. Okay, so it is a nucleated cell. Okay, and this nucleated cell, now this companion cell is attached with the sieve tube cell. You can see here it is attached with it. I can show you with the other diagram also. See student, these are the companion cell which is present with that of the sieve tubes. You can see here, this is the companion cell. Okay, so these companion cells are attached with that of the sieve tubes. So basically, either that of the companion cell attached to the sieve tube, or in case of a gymnosperm, if the albuminous cell is attached with that of the sieve cell, both of them, they help sieve tube and sieve cells to perform their activities or their function. So the nucleus is present in the companion cell and albuminous cell, but there is no nucleus. You can see here in diagram, there is no nucleus present in that of the sieve tube. Okay, sieve tube or sieve cell. So this is a nucleated. So this companion cell help the sieve tube to carry their metabolic activity, perform their activities or their function. Now this is the sieve tube and this one is the companion cell. So basic function of both of them, they are attached with that of the sieve tube and responsible for performing. It helps the sieve tubes to perform their function, and the function of this sieve tube, it help in transporting the food and nutrient to the different part of the plant. Okay, now these are the two things which is the first two elements of that of the phloem element. Now if we talk about the next one, and that is bast fiber or that of the phloem fiber. So the phloem fiber, as you know, as you see the term, that is fiber, it means it is a sclerenchymatous cells. As we have studied in the xylem fiber also, that was also a sclerenchymatous cell. Same here, the phloem fiber is a sclerenchymatous cells, and these phloem fibers are also known as a bast fiber. Now, if it is a sclerenchymatous cell, then what is the properties? That it is having a thick cell wall structure. That thick cell wall is due to the presence of the lignin. The lignin deposition occur on the cell wall. Okay, and the cytoplasm, it will die because of the presence of the lignin, and thus empty space is there, that is lumen is present in it. So sclerenchymatous cell, in case of that of the bast fiber, it is a thick cell wall structure. Okay. Now if we see the section of the phloem, then we see that the sieve tubes are there, which it is a sieve tube, students. Sieve tube is present in it. These sieve tubes, it is consisting of the sieve plate also. You know that sieve plate is present in that of the sieve tube, which is a perforated plate. So sieve tubes are joined together and there are a perforated plate, that is the sieve plates, which is present all over. Okay, it is present all over. Phloem fibers are present with it. It is attached with that. This is the phloem fiber, and these are the phloem fiber which is attached with it. And you see here, everywhere the companion cell is also attached with it. Okay, phloem fibers, they are the thick wall of a lignin. And finally, one more thing is there, and that is phloem parenchyma. This is the phloem parenchyma, student, and that phloem parenchyma, it is a thin wall structure and a thin wall cell, as well as having a intercellular space in it. Okay, so it is there is a sieve plate is there, companion cell is attached with it, bast fibers, that of the phloem fibers are attached with it, and finally that of the phloem parenchyma is also present in it. So this is the structure for the angiosperm. Now for the gymnosperm, the structure is the same, there is no change, but in place of that of the sieve tubes, there will be sieve cells present in it. That sieve cells is also having the perforated plate. The perforation is not all over as in case of the sieve tube, but it occur at the some area. Okay, the perforation is not everywhere, but it occur at the some area. Along with that, the sieve cells, there is a smaller cells which is attached with it, and that is in place of the companion cell. In case of gymnosperm, albuminous cell is present in it. Albuminous cell is attached with it. And the other two fiber, that of the phloem parenchyma and that of the phloem fiber, is already present in it. So there is no difference in that of the phloem structure as in case of a gymno and an angiosperm. The only difference is the sieve cell is present, albuminous cell is present, and the perforation is not all over. It is very little as compared to that of the sieve tubes. Now if we see the function of that of the phloem, you find that the basic function of the phloem is that it transport organic substance made by the plant during photosynthesis. So student, you all are knowing that the result of the photosynthesis is carbohydrate, and we consider carbohydrate as a polysaccharide. Okay, starch is a polysaccharide. Saccharide, it means sugar. Okay, so it is a organic substance, that is organic substance which is called as a sucrose. So it help in transporting the starch, it help in transporting that organic substance which is formed during the photosynthesis. The second one is, it is mostly away from leaves to the storage organ. Okay, so it help in carrying the things. So it is basically away from the leaves to that of the storage organ from where they transport the substances. Transport refers to as translocation. Yes student, when we are talking about the xylem, you know the xylem, they used to take water and minerals from the root to the leaves, and the plant, the leaves, they use of that water to carry the process of photosynthesis. That transportation of the water and mineral from the root to the leaves, it is basically due to the transpiration pull. And that process in which the transportation of that of the water and mineral from the root to the shoot take place is known as transpiration, right? But now what happened, the water is collected from that of the stem to the leaves, and the leaf, they take that water and prepare the food by the process of photosynthesis. This photosynthesis give result as a food. It forms food as a starch, and that food is now transferred, it's transported to the different parts of the plant. Now what is this transportation known as? So the transportation of the food and the nutrients to the different parts of the plant is known as translocation. Okay, so the transportation of the water and mineral is known as transpiration, and the transportation of the food and nutrient is known as translocation. So whenever a term comes a translocation, it means here it is talking about the phloem. Okay, so function of the phloem is to carry the food and nutrient to the different parts of the plant, and the function of the xylem is to carry the water and mineral to the leaves. Okay, the phloem is a bidirectional. Okay, another thing, that is the term we use in case of the xylem transportation, that is transpiration, and in case of the phloem transportation we use the term that is translocation. Now solute, it move up and down phloem, unlike the movement in the xylem. So student, in xylem the movement is always upward, because the water, it is taken up by the stem. First of all, that water is taken up by the roots from the soil. Now the water, it should be used, it have to be used to that of the leaves of the plant for the preparation of the food. Okay, so the roots, because of the transpiration pull, the stem, they take that water and help in carrying the water to the leaves. So this is the only one movement, that is upward movement. Water will never come again to that of the root. Okay, so it is a unidirectional movement, because only in one direction movement is occurring. Okay, so this is a unidirectional. So in xylem, only in one direction the movement occur, so it is a unidirectional, while in case of the phloem, the movement of the food particle. Now now after photosynthesis, food is prepared, and this food is to be distributed to all the different parts of the plant, including to the shoot, including to the upper portion, to that of the lower portion up to roots. So the phloem responsibility is to carry the food to the above part, upper part also, or to the lower part. So now you see there is a two directional, there is a bidirectional movement occurring. Okay, it has to move upward as well as in the downward direction. Okay, so in case of a phloem, it moves up as well as it moves down. So direction is a bidirectional movement, and in case of a xylem, it is a unidirectional movement, because the water is to be carried only to the leaves. Okay, so these are some of the important function of the phloem. Now, like that of the xylem, student, phloem is also divided into two. Let me tell you. That is protophlloem and that of the metaphlloem. Like in case of the xylem, we studied that there were two types of a xylem, protoxylem and metaxylem. Same here, protophlloem is there and metaphlloem is there. Protophlloem is that phloem which is formed first. Okay, while that of the metaphlloem, student, it is that portion, that part of the phloem which is formed later. Okay, so which is the initial one, the phloem which is formed initially, which is formed at first, we use the term that is protophlloem, while if suppose we are using, we see the other phloem, the later formed phloem, we use the term that is metaphlloem. Okay, protophlloem, it is present almost in the center, while the metaphlloem, it is at the edges. Okay. Now we have studied the two things, that is the xylem and that of the phloem. So we came to know that the function of the xylem is to carry the water and that of the minerals to the different part of the plant. And the function of the phloem is to carry the food and nutrient to the different part of the plant. Okay, so what is the basic function? That it used to conduct the water, mineral and that of the food and nutrient to the one part to the other parts of the plant. Okay, and that is why these xylem and that of the phloem is known as a conducting tissue, because they help in conduction the material, the substances from one part of the plant to the other plant. Okay, so that is why whenever a term is used that is conducting tissue, there we are talking about the xylem and phloem, as it help in the transportation of the substance from one part to the another. Another word which we used for the xylem and that of the phloem is the vascular tissues. So these are known as the vascular tissues. The reason is the same. These are the two tubes which is present in the plant, which help in taking the things from one part and keeping it to the another part, or it help in providing the different substances to the different part of the plant. Okay, that is why the two term we use for that of the xylem and phloem, it is conducting tissues or vascular tissues. Now, xylem and that of the phloem, they may be formed separately, okay, or they may be present together. It totally depend upon the location. Also, they can be found together in the form as a vascular bundle. So their presence, whether they are occurring together as a vascular bundle or they are occurring separately, it totally depend upon their location, where they are, what kind of a plant it is, and where the plant is placed. Okay, so it is also depend, its type totally depend upon the location where it is present. Okay, so this is the xylem and that of the phloem, which is the complex permanent tissues having a two or more different type of cells together. So you see here there are parenchyma cells are also present, sclerenchyma cells are also present, and the other two elements that help in the conduction of the water in case of a xylem, and phloem and that of the food and nutrient in case of a phloem. Okay, so two cells, sclerenchyma and parenchyma is present in it, and the other two element which is help in the conduction is also present in it. So the two or more different cells, they make it a complex and they make it a compound tissue.